Lagos. Let's now cross over to our Abuja studio with my colleague Femi Akonde standing by with the top stories in FCT. Hi Femi, what's Abuja like today?
Hi Femi, Abuja is doing great. Thanks for asking. The city is bustling as usual and everything seems to be in order. Well, back here in Abuja, we begin this segment of the news with the visit of the governor of Anambra State to the president. Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State says he will continue to support the administration of President Bola Tinubu, particularly the bold reforms of the government that has set the economy on the path of recovery. The former central bank governor, who is also on the ballot representing the All Progressives Grand Alliance in the forthcoming governorship election scheduled for November 8, told State House correspondents that it is important for all political parties that profess to be progressives to come together in a massive coalition to deepen democratic governance and promote economic and social development in the country.
It's involved a holistic approach to the issue of security. If you realize, January this year, we passed our Homeland Security Law, which is trying to deal with insecurity from the foundations. See how the deadly native doctors are on the run from the state, because these are the guys giving false hope and so on to deceiving our young ones and luring them into criminality and all of that. But very fundamentally, we're approaching it very comprehensively, what they call the kinetic.
Well, away from politics, let's shift our attention to education now. In the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives has kicked off an investigative hearing on alleged unethical practices in the disbursement and management of student loan by the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund. This was at the North Central Zonal hearing, where lawmakers assured Nigerians of transparency, accountability, and fairness in the administration of the program. Our National Assembly correspondent, Joke Adisa, reports.
In May, the House of Representatives adopted a motion of urgent public importance for the probe of NEL Fund's student loan. The legislative exercise was in reaction to a series of complaints indicating alleged delay in disbursement and lack of transparency in the operations of the fund. A joint committee is mandated to probe the alleged diversion as well as non-compliance with the Student Loans Act 2024. This investigative hearing takes care of the North Central Zone, and representatives of tertiary institutions in the region converge at the Yakubu Gowon University, Abuja, to interface with the committee. Late Chairman Ifeoluwa Ehindero acknowledges the critical role NEL Fund plays in shaping access to tertiary education in the country. To him, education is not just a personal right, but a public good and a cornerstone of national development.
How you administer and manage the funds and the issues you are having that results into delay. For instance, when a student applies as far back as 2023-2024 academic session and he doesn't receive payment until 6-7 months after, it has defeated the purpose.
Heads of institutions across different states from the North Central Zone described the fund as a critical intervention in the education sector.
This initiative of federal government is a welcome development. We believe that with this issue of non-payment of user charges by students will be a thing of the past.
By the time you are through with the entire 6 geopolitical zone and put your report back, we will be able to proffer solutions to how these bottlenecks can be averted.
At the end of the meeting, the committee says the exercise is far from being a witch hunt.
Once we look into those submissions, we'll still revert to them to compare notes and then work with the relevant stakeholders, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund as well, and then bridge the gap as regards all the issues that are causing delay in the disbursement of the student loan scheme.
Records show that NEL Fund has disbursed 73.11 billion naira in loans as of Monday, 30th June 2025, with a total of 366,247 student beneficiaries across federal and state tertiary institutions. TVC.
Well, let's talk about the security and safety of FCT residents with regards to urban planning. as the Federal Capital Territory Administration says it has commenced a citywide operation to demolish illegal shanty settlements in various areas of the territory. This operation is already generating mixed reactions as it focuses on eliminating structures considered unsafe and unregulated, but have become homes and places of businesses for thousands of residents in the FCT. However, the FCT administration is insisting that shanties cause a significant safety hazard for residents and also public health concerns. TVC News' Habida Lawal reports.
The Federal Capital Territory is intensifying its campaign to restore security order in the urban areas. The enforcement team carried out a series of demolition exercises, removing illegal shanties and structures across several areas of the capital city. The administration says these operations are a targeted response to intelligence reports identifying these locations as notorious criminal hideouts. The officials also point out that these shanties often lack basic amenities such as proper sanitation, clean water, and adequate waste disposal systems, posing significant risk to residents and the environment.
You recall that we were at Zone 3, Wuse, and UTC. Today we are at Apo Guzape area, where shanties and miscreants have been dislodged. So that's why we're here today. It's the continuation of the exercise to rid the city of miscreants and criminal elements.
No resistance. You cannot resist when government is determined to do their lawful duty, and they also know that they are squatting here illegally and they are not meant to be here. And just like the director have said, the person in charge of the that here have been allocated will be contacted accordingly. But one thing is that FCT must be safe. That is the key word.
The FCT administration confirmed that notices of clearance had been served to the illegal occupiers since October 2023, with subsequent follow-ups in 2024 and February 2025. These demolitions are expected to continue over the coming weeks as the FCTA seeks to restore order in the capital's urban landscape. The operation raises critical questions about the balance between development and social responsibility, particularly in a context where many residents have lived in these shanties for years. Habida Lawal, TVC News.
Well, from restoring order in the FCTA to trying to uphold order in the NYSC, let's tell you that the National Youth Service Corps is under the spotlight following allegations of abuse of office and targeted victimization. Lawyers, activists, including Omoyele Sowore, are among those calling for the immediate release of Ms. Ushie Rita Ugumaye's discharge certificate, following what they describe as an unlawful extension of her service year. TVC News' Mariam Mohammed reports.
I don't know if there have been any other precedent that is terrible.
Months after going viral for criticizing Nigeria's leadership and economy, 24-year-old corps member Ushie Rita Ugumaye, known as Rai, is still in the news. Her lawyers say after completing her one-year compulsory service, NYSC withheld her certificate as punishment for being vocal and demanding accountability from government.
What are you doing to help us?
For corps member Ushie Rita Ugumaye, NYSC says she failed to do her biometric clearance in the month of April, which is a standard procedure for corps members. In a petition dated August 11, 2025, Effiong Chambers accused a local government inspector of deliberately refusing to process Mrs. Ugumaye's biometric clearance in April, describing it as a retaliation. Today, activist Omoyele Sowore visited NYSC headquarters to demand her certificate. He said they were told that the Director General was away on an assignment. Sowore insisted the corps member has served her nation and deserved her discharge certificate without delay.
Femi Falano, whose NYSC discharge certificate was seized. It took him 18 years. In fact, it took the Oputa panel to order the Nigerian government to release it to him. Mine was also seized in 1996 in Yola and has not been released till today. There has been several cases of politically motivated seizure of NYSC certificate. It's our position that that should end immediately. That anybody who is serving the nation can't be prevented from maintaining a political opinion.
The Prosecutor's Counsel, on his part, disclosed that his client was exercising her constitutional rights and should not be victimized.
When you enroll for the NYSC, you are offering yourself in service of your nation, not in service of your president. So a corps member is not an employee of the president.
Or the DG.
A corps member is not even an employee of the DG of the NYSC. And I have also stated clearly that a corps member is neither a civil servant nor a public servant. If you look at the NYSC Act, what has been done in the case of Rita Ugwamaye, popularly known as Rai, is again another demonstration of the abuse of state institutions in our country.
If proven, these claims could question NYSC's fairness. Okay. For now, Ms. Ugumaye will continue to wait for a decision. Mariam Mohammed, TVC News, Abuja.
Well, Nifemi, that's all the updates we've got for you here in Abuja. Over to you.
Very interesting, Femi. Your first story again highlights how blurry political lines are becoming with the Anambra State Governor's visit to Mr. President, and this time endorsing him for a second time, considering that both parties have respective candidates in the Anambra election. Interesting days ahead, Femi, isn't it?
Well, Ifeanyi, it's quite interesting, and that's politics for you, you know. People in the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, will term that as anti-party, you know. We have seen statements coming from the People's Democratic Party warning its members who have openly come out to endorse President Bola Tinubu or other candidates that, you know, they are going to wield the big stick against them and also discipline them. But, you know, Governor Soludo and President Bola Tinubu, you know, they've had this very quite interesting bromance over the years, and it dates even back before President Bola Tinubu you know, assumed office as president of the country. I know it's very interesting because all of these kind of relationships are very important, you know, beyond just these relationships. It also have some kind of a political undertone. For President Bola Tinubu, it may mean securing Anambra votes in 2027.
We'll see how that plays out in November. Femi Akande with the updates in FCT. Thank you so much for the news.